is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game. Big Ten champions. Big Ten champs.
National champions, yes.
Oklahoma City bound the Oregon Ducks.
Awesome day to be a Duck, man.
Boom inside. Touchdown Oregon. He gets loose. Fires. Hit. Pops the three. Oh, yeah. It's all Oregon.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider.
It's about how to be a group of people that know how to love each other to the absolute fullest.
Pleasure, joy to be with them each and every day. And I can't wait for the future.
It's just fun to be a part of a community that cares, that is passionate, and when we come together, powerful things can happen.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
We've got Deputy Athletic Director Val Johnson on the show with us today, as well as Oregon Volleyball head coach Trent Kersten, and we'll continue to break down Oregon football. A lot to unpack as fall camp is coming to a conclusion. This is the final week of camp. The Ducks will turn the page towards Montana State next week, August 30th. We're less than 2 weeks out from the start of Oregon football season. That's right. I'm Joey Mack. Thanks for joining us. We're going to hear from defensive coordinator Tosh Lupoi today. Tons of interviews, as well as Devin Jackson, Ashton Porter. And then after practice today, breaking down the quarterback room. We'll have all those interviews for you over the next couple days. And I also am excited to tell you that tomorrow, not only will Coach Lanning join us, but Tracy Joyner will join us, talking Oregon soccer before they head to Hawaii after a 1-0-1 start to the season at Pape Field. And then on Thursday, we have a pretty special edition of Duck Insider coming your way. Everything you need to know about game day at Autzen Stadium, from parking with the construction and a new Leo Harris Parkway, from tickets to in-venue, what's happening with concessions and the fan experience. 3 different guests all breaking it all down for us, what to expect from a game day at Autzen Stadium. That's Duck Insider's theme on Thursday, and then Friday, Jerry and Jorgie will be here. We've got some picks to make. We've got some things to discuss, their thoughts on the end of fall camp. But as fall camp comes to a conclusion, you want to see progress. And so far, I think the Ducks have seen that. Talking with both coordinators, let's begin on the defensive side today. Defensive coordinator Tosh Lupoi on what he has seen from his defense so far.
On paper, this is certainly the deepest the corner room has been in your 4 years here. That's easy to read on paper in recruiting rankings, but now you've had 30 off-season practices. Just how much deeper and how much better is that room specifically than at any point in your time here?
I agree with you. Yep, we got some quality players there and hungry players. So just had a individual meeting with that group, and it's exciting. And it's a reminder of, just like the National Football League, every single day we come to work, we are fighting, and we're fighting for our jobs. And ultimately, somebody's going to run out there first. But there's certainly my plan and our plan is to have a healthy rotation going at that position, and a reset competition every single week of who runs out there first. No different than one season ago. We had 2 quality corners start last season, and the second week somebody else started that did the first week. So at all positions, that's how it's going to be treated. But pleased with where that group is right now, and then especially based off of this last scrimmage, specifically in the red zone, plenty of stuff for us to clean up there at the position as well.
Brandon Finney is someone who's been garnering a lot of buzz this fall. What have you kind of seen from him as his growth through camp?
He's has really gained some confidence as he's gotten a lot more comfortable with the system. I think he's, highly benefiting from being an early enrollee and coming in and now really being a part of what we call Phase 5, the off season all the way into camp. And it's really cool to see, including yesterday at the Jaqua Ranch. He's on the stage singing multiple songs. Haven't heard him speak a whole lot. And, I felt like he was a bona fide artist.
That outside linebacker group, beyond Mateo and beyond Tatum, who do you see has been really stepping up this fall and really improved from last year?
Again, a great competition on the edges. Pleased with Ashton Porter, the way he's been competing. Nas, is different. He's got different juice, as we know, in the recruiting, and that has stood true now. Elijah Rushing, quality guy that continues to develop. Arguably played the best in this last scrimmage, when you compare everybody in the group. So, but again, just we've been fortunate to get a lot of reps out of these guys, have a great camp, and maintain our health there, and going to continue to progress and challenge those guys.
Yeah, I know a lot of the talk about
I failed to mention, too, Blake Purchase has grown a lot, and I'm pumped about to see where he is from a maturity standpoint. So it's another guy, too, that's truly competing to start for us.
I know there has been a lot of talk about Bryce being a leader on this team, on this defense, but right next to him, Devin Jackson's a player that's been a part of the program for a while. How has he evolved as a leader for this defense?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd even really necessarily say evolved. What I really respect about both those guys is those guys are part of really I'd call the modern old school player, where they came in on one was a walk-on and one was on a scholarship. I don't believe there was even NIL related there when he first came. So, that means something to some players that are still have experienced that. So the way they come to work and having that, tough man workers mentality. So I think that is shown through action, and that's where the leadership, rises from.
Talked earlier in the fall about looking for playmakers, particularly on the defensive line, Tosh. Now, again, with 12, 13 more practices since then, where do you see that group? Where do you see Amari and Bear specifically among that group when you're replacing what you're replacing up front?
Yeah, Amari, gifted individual. Really cool to see his progression with his fundamentals and technique. The challenge to him is just constantly challenge him of how important it is to add his weight as his conditioning, and that'll be critical for his success, this year and in his future. So right now, if he continues the trend that he's on, he's a special player. And then just an awesome competition to see develop here. You got Tion Gray, you mentioned Bear Alexander, you got Terrence Green, Jericho Johnson has came on really strong, had arguably one of the best springs, and had a minor setback, so missed some reps with a minor setback. But another guy that's just, these guys are pushing each other, but we got to grow, and there's no secret to that, so it's excited. We're challenging those guys every day. You have an absence of 3 NFL players, that left in the first 3 rounds, so that's an awesome competition to see unfold, and similar to that corner room, I see that being a reset every week, that might who run out there first, and just constant competition, and who can help us in each specific package, mastering their role and bringing that to the table.
We talked a couple weeks ago about Toby. With someone with so little football experience, I'm curious what you've seen from him just in the past couple of weeks as far as his growth and development.
Toby had his best block, referred to it as a block, this last week building into the scrimmage. And what I love of what's occurring right now, he's playing hard and physical. So we want that first, and then we're going to get the alignments and assignments down. And so it's cool to see some growth there in this last week. And I haven't evaluated the film today, so we'll see if that stands true today. But that's what's been cool to see about him answering that bell of just playing at with some relentless effort that we're requiring.
Just going from the spring game to here with the start of the season a little less than 2 full weeks away, what's the biggest area of improvement that you've seen from the defense, and what's the biggest area of emphasis as we get closer to week 1?
Yeah, I don't know if there's some specific improvement to really truly test yet. So we'll find out pretty soon here. Our goals are to stop the run at even a much higher standard than the way we finished. Again, we finished our rivalry game after game, I think that was 12, and we were near where we want to be as a top 10 defense in that category, and then gave up way too many rushing yards in the postseason, to get our yards per carry way up. So that's one, immediately addressing that if we're going to be the defense and the team that we want to be, we got to stop the run. And then our red zone efficiency is what we're trying to attack. Scrimmage 1 did an elite job at that. So it's really cool to see that, both those categories of improvement. And the offense certainly got after us in the red zone a week ago. So it was, we had to readdress that of this is, if there was one major difference is, a week ago, in our game 1, we either stopped them, got a turnover, or forced field goals, as opposed to this last week where we gave up too many touchdowns in that area. So red zone efficiency, decreasing the amount of touchdowns, getting stops and forcing field goals there. And then our yards per run is what we're attacking, holistically every day.
You talked earlier about the secondary. How much has Dylan's presence and leadership taken hold back there?
Dylan's impressive, thankful to have him. He's a lead by action individual, but he's a detailed individual. So he's the essence of attacking details. And if something is unclear or perhaps I haven't coached it well enough or whatever it is, he's going to ask, whether he's calling you, texting you, or ask you after practice or in between a drill, or and I love that about him. So, he's coming on strong here, and once again, some great young players pushing, and we've done a lot of dual training, in that room. Coach Hampton has done an awesome job with those guys, and Coach Boyd, and from playing our nickel position, what we call the star, boundary safety, field safety, and then even some stuff with our dime and corner even, rotating through that room. And that's a special thing when you can do that. So really cool to move those guys around and challenge them there. And he's one of those guys that's been dual trained in multiple positions.
You and Dan have been complimentary of Ashton, and you mentioned him previously today. Just where have you seen him grow the most over these last couple of months, and just what do you think his role could be this year on the defensive line?
He's became more of a productive rusher. He's a guy that's plays both inside and outside. He offers some of that versatility, and to do that, you better be tough and you better be physical. And Ashton certainly is. He's put on some solid weight, some muscle mass. He's competed, with his body comp to put on the right kind of weight. So he feels more comfortable now doing both, rushing inside and outside instead of just outside. Competing there, and if we played tonight, there's no doubt in my mind that Ashton would be in the conversation of one of the 4 best rushers on the team. He'd be in that conversation.
Fall camp continuing. That's defensive coordinator Tosh Lupoi as we head toward game week next week. As we just said before talking to Val Johnson, she said it, it's go time. So we're going to talk with the Deputy Athletic Director about what that means when we come back on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
We know you turn to the Duck Store for all your game day needs. And for students at the University of Oregon, it's even more. Class supplies, jobs, a seat on our board, a place to take a quick coffee break. Because we're your student-first, non-profit college store, every purchase you make directly supports the very community we serve. From working at our counters to studying in the classroom, from directing our stores to cheering in the stands, the people we serve, the students, are the very people who are the Duck Store.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious, which warrants a serious conversation from a serious parental figure like yourself. Not the seriously know-it-all sports dad or the seriously smart podcaster. It requires a serious conversation that is best had by you. No, seriously, the best person to talk to your child about vaping is you. To start the conversation, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The Deputy Athletic Director, Val Johnson, here in the Country Financial Studio. What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
How has your day been?
It's good. It's been busy.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of standing at my desk, you know.
But that's good.
I was standing. That was an improvement. I went from my bouncing ball, my stability ball, to standing.
I'm so glad you brought this up because
Yeah.
I got to tell everybody, last time I walked into Val's office, she's just like rolling on the ball. Like, you were moving. And I was like, how do you type? There's so much motion.
Yeah,
That's
I have
a
to keep
skill.
moving. I
That's
have
a
to keep
skill.
moving. The ball's been with me for quite a while. It's on wheels, everyone, so it's, you know,
So
a
it's
little
a
bit more.
staple of your office?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
been with me for a long
Would
time.
you say that it is now part of your work identity?
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay. We're not quite there
Yeah, I think it's just people think it's funny that I sit on it. But they
isn't
also understand that I can't sit
But isn't
still.
it better for you? Like, I've
Yeah,
always heard that
I
it's
mean,
better for
I'm
you.
sure, but I kind of cheat and lean on my desk. But a long time ago, I
I've
read
never
that you
done
burn like 200 calories from sitting on a ball. So I was like, that's easy calories to burn.
Seems like a good thought.
Right.
Seems like a good thought.
It was out of laziness. Let's just be honest.
No, it was out of needing to stay mobile.
Yeah, and probably a little bit of attention deficit in there as well that I need to keep moving.
That's good.
You know, you just got to know what your challenges are and
Sure.
work towards success.
That is a constant struggle for me every single day. Seriously, though, I mean,
Yeah.
we have not talked to you since last spring. How was summer? What
Has
did
it
you
been-
do?
Oh my gosh.
Nothing changed in college athletics since the last time you
No.
were on the show.
It's interesting because it's like you try to keep pace with everything that is going on. We're very fortunate to be part of the Big Ten Conference, and we have a great group there that really helps to keep us engaged and informed with everything that's going on. Rob does an excellent job of doing that with our staff as well. And so it's just a matter of kind of like adjusting as the days and weeks go by of what is it this week. And I think our coaches have been really responsive, our student athletes. I mean, we didn't get a lot of the update, as I'm sure you all know from, you know, previous conversations with either Rob or Lisa, is that, you know, we kind of got the information late, and we had been doing the work ahead of time to prepare for it. But until it hits the green light go, there's not much you can do. So the team that's been doing that has been phenomenal, and that's mainly led through Lisa Peterson and then also Tyler in our compliance office. We're working with all of our coaches and student athletes to make sure that we're adhering to the new landscape and making sure that we're putting our student athletes in the best position possible to be successful here on and off the quarter field.
So for you in your role, like Deputy Athletic Director is this big title, right? And you've heard me talk about this before. There's lots of slashes in your title: Senior Woman Administrator, Deputy Title IX Coordinator. So there's a lot that's in your role and your purview. I was curious, like, how much in a changing landscape was this the most? Was this all the questions over the summer? Like, what percentage was it? I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, like, so the SWA part of my role, the Senior Woman Administrator part of it, comes with some conference responsibility.
Sure.
So in our conference, we all meet as a group of Senior Women Administrators. That information that, you know, everything from scheduling to how we're managing rosters to, you know, all those kind of things is always at the forefront of our discussion. I mean, so much so that we actually did a kind of a special session in July when we typically don't meet in person in July, just because that's how fast everything's changing. So that part, I think, took on a lot, but then also just being there as, a support person for the people that are actually doing a lot of the legwork with the new system, specifically between NIL and rev share and kind of the systems that go around that. I don't have my hands in the system every day, like say Lisa does, but each one of us plays a different role of making sure we're communicating information back to our coaches, and whether it's from a roster or a rule or how we're going to change up. I mean, even just travel party size, like, is that something that we're going to consider as a conference with changing now that we're at roster limits and designated student athletes? And so how does that work? So a lot of that discussion comes from our conference level through our SWA group, and then we bring it back to campus.
Yeah, because to put that in perspective for everybody listening and watching, like, there's been so many headlines about NIL and how the House settlement changes that, but a big piece of it from a logistics standpoint is the roster limits.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, so that's probably been one of the biggest things too that we've been really focusing on campus, is because, there is that direct impact to all of our teams, all of our student athletes. And that was something that really came out early within the House settlement talks. Was there's a lot of national conversation about, like, well, what's going to happen to student athletes that are impacted by new roster size limits. And so we wanted to make sure that we were doing things not only how we need to do it from a conference and an NCAA standpoint, but then also what fits best for us here at Oregon, and being able to explain that to our coaches and our student athletes in a timely manner, and just getting that information out there.
Val Johnson, our guest. It was a slow news summer, as you can tell.
Yeah, it's interesting though. It's like, until you sit down and, someone asks you that question, because you just go with the flow. Like, season's going to come, student athletes are going to return,
games
will be played. Like, all of these things are still going to happen no matter what. So you still have to just adjust and continue going through your normal flow while you're adjusting to all the landscape changes.
I always say before, every season, like, there's the build up and everyone's like, okay, we got to do that. We're going. I'm like, a game is going to be played whether we're ready or not. The other team's going to be ready. The Ducks are going to be ready. A game will be played whether we're ready or not.
Yeah, and fortunately for us, with our great teams and our staff, we're typically ready.
At this point in your career, do you still have that, like, Zen moment when there's so much extra that goes on around an event, but then when you just sit down and watch, I feel like you're the person that still gets, like, a Zen moment with that at every event. It's
so great. Yeah. I mean, it is, and it's part of the reason why I think I've said it on here before. On Wednesdays, my office is based here in the Casanova Center, but my sport oversight is indoor volleyball and women's basketball. So on Wednesdays, I actually go and work from Matthew Knight Arena to be close to those two teams, but then also our athletic medicine group that I have oversight over, and really to get a little bit of Zen every single week, because at that time it's the reminder of why we do what we do. Yep. When you could sit and practice, watch what they're doing, talk to them when they come off the court, get to know who they are personally. And that is the reset button every week for me. Connecting with our coaches, the student athletes, our staff. That's the big reset.
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you. Talking about practice, volleyball practice, of course, in full swing. Man, it's a fun group. So the green and yellow scrimmage, I haven't talked to you about this yet. Green and yellow scrimmage, I thought great success. Thanks to all the fans who came out to watch what is essentially a practice. But I talked to Coach Kersten about this. He's coming up on the show later on, by the way. It's a little different when there's people watching and there's fans in the stands.
For sure. And I think the team was feeling the nerves a little bit too, because they hadn't yet. You have to remember, all with the exception of Maya.
Right.
It's a whole new team, including staff. I mean, we have Jerry here. He's still our technical coordinator. Right. We have a group of managers that are still here. So we have that consistency. But overall, this is a group who truly hasn't experienced Oregon volleyball.
Yeah.
And, a lot of we were waiting for the student athletes to arrive, for the whole team to get here. I think we're still actually missing one. She came in and then had to go back and compete for her national team.
Performed well, by the way.
Performed exceptionally well. So it's all new. And for them, it was really, really cool and also Zen moments for me, to be able to see Coach Kersten do his first chalk talk with our season ticket holders, and seeing how that room filled up. And I think for the coaching staff and the student athletes to be able to actually see and feel what it means to be an Oregon Duck and have the support of our community was really what made that evening spectacular.
Yeah, shout out to the fans. Coach told me that they had to bring in some extra chairs.
Yeah, we brought in chairs. Yeah,
awesome.
Some extra chairs. We had Ken Brown out there hauling chairs around.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's all about, you know. And how are things gonna look this year? That's something we're gonna talk with Coach Kersten about coming up. I mean, that is a fun, I think, excitement point to this season, that it is a whole new roster, staff to get to know, and a whole new style of volleyball that they're going to be getting to know.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you know, and overall, what I will say is that the staff energy is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
If you don't follow them on social media, I suggest that you do.
Yeah.
There's always going to be some sort of TikTok dance.
Yep.
But just the energy is really high. I was actually sitting there with Maria, who's one of our new student athletes from France, and she had just flown in, and we were sitting there watching practice, and they were, you know, scrimmaging back and forth, and they were so loud. The energy was so high, not only from the student athletes, but from the coaches. And I looked at Maria and I go, I think you're going to have to bring the energy. She goes, yeah, they seem a little quiet. But, you know, it's just really cool to see them coming together as a true, like a whole new program.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be more pleased with the work that staff has done in such a short amount of time with so much change and transition.
Yeah. A lot of change, a lot of transition, a lot of travel to recruit the team in the first place. So Oregon State, an exhibition in Corvallis coming up on Saturday at 4 o'clock. We'll talk with Coach Kersten coming up about that here on the show in a bit. Val Johnson's our guest. We're going to get a timeout, come back. Non-conference schedule's coming out for Oregon women's basketball.
It's coming.
You talked about that.
Yeah.
I mean, you might have to start going 2 days at the arena.
Yeah, well, I kind of do already. I mean, I'm on the phone with them every day, so maybe I have to up it in person.
We're going to talk about that when we come back on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hear that? The crowd's going wild for all the end of summer fun at Toyota's National Sales Event. Going now until September 2nd. Woo-hoo!
See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hear that? The crowd's going wild for all the end of summer fun at Toyota's National Sales Event. Going now until September 2nd. Woo-hoo!
See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Toyota, let's go places.
This is Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
It's Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack, Deputy Athletics Director Valerie Johnson is with us. We've talked about volleyball. Now we're going to talk a little women's basketball.
Yeah.
The non-conference schedule coming together. I've loved that student athletes are announcing the non-conference schedule, by the way. Just, hey, this is going to be our next game. Love it. Utah State's now on the schedule. GoDucks.com continually updating about every other day at this point for a non-conference schedule. It's going to be here before we know it, isn't it?
It's here. I mean, you know, I always say it's like, I think for our fans, it's like, when, actually like when they get to come and experience it, which is really cool. I think for us, though, it's like it started. It's here. You know, we've been fortunate that we've had a core group of women's basketball players here most of the summer. Everyone here is, you know, here and going and practicing, and they're going, and all the good things are happening. And to see them come together as a team too, it was really cool for us because we didn't have any transfers out. So we have a really nice core group of continuing Ducks here that are able to really mentor and guide all the new ones coming in. And I think having that helps to just really get the new ones going very easily. You know, they feel really welcome here in Eugene already. They're connected to the community. They're connected to the department, the program. And, but it's go time. Like, it's happening.
And I'll say this, too, like familiarity with Eugene, but also how about just the fans' familiarity with them?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there is some continuity that makes that fun and engaging, and I'm all for that. You know, it's amazing. You think about with volleyball, it's exciting. We get to know so many new Ducks. With women's basketball, it's like, hey, we get to learn more about these people now, which makes it
for
fun.
Sure.
There's a comfort level there for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, and it just again, it makes the coaching staff feel more comfortable with being able to kind of have some on-court leadership there as well. They know the style. I mean, we were really fortunate that we were able to add Peyton Scott to our coaching staff. So that's going to help tremendously as well. A familiar face on the bench. You know, she got to have her taste of it in that first year when unfortunately she suffered a season-ending injury. But she got to get some reps on the bench and see the highs and lows of coaching.
Right.
And
you see it through a different lens. You do.
Yeah.
You do.
And so then, you know, she came back, played, and then now she's going to be fully transitioned over onto the coaching side. And it'll be great for her. It'll be great for the student athletes, for her former teammates to see her in that new capacity, but then also to have that knowledge on staff. I mean, it's cool because there's Peyton and there's Audie, so it's like you kind of get two generations of Coach Graves, you know, just to, you know, see the difference. And
similarities.
You know, what hasn't changed from Audie's time to Peyton's time to current days. But, I mean, it's going, you know, and I think for us to be able to go over and watch practice, obviously they're in classes right now, you know, the ones that are taking classes, and to have that kind of jump start before we get into the fall quarter helps those teams a lot.
Yeah, you know, I'm glad that you brought up Peyton because to me that's such a cool aspect of like the post athlete life, right? Is we all get excited. Where are you now? You know, like those are the interviews I love doing. It's like, so what have you been up to? You know, and that's what people like to hear. And for someone like Peyton, it's right now. I mean, it's starting right now. It's cool to be able to add her to the staff.
Right. Well, and the other, I mean, we were talking about volleyball a little bit earlier. I mean, we have Lauren Page on the staff, and same thing with her. You know, she's playing professionally. She's interested in coaching. This is able to get her back onto campus, not only as an alum, but as a new coach and that experience. And I think for us, it really encompasses what we are all about with our student athletes and their development, and any way that we can help with that process. The other really cool thing is we have a new women's basketball player, Mia Jacobs. We always say the M. Jacobs sign is for her.
That's right.
But that she, you know, on her recruiting visit, she expressed an interest in sports photography. Yep. She's already been out football practice, volleyball, soccer, you know, taking photos. So shout out to Mia. You can follow her pictures on Instagram as well. But yeah, we want to make sure that our student athletes are having a holistic experience while they're here.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, right? I mean, we talk all the time about the student athlete experience, and there's so much more to it than just the wins, losses, and the performance on the court in this case. Yeah, that's cool. Final thoughts for Val Johnson, who's joining us. What else are you doing these days?
Oh goodness. Well, right now it's getting ready for the fall. You know, making sure that we're ready to go and just kind of, you know, being agile with anything that gets changed to come in our way. And then really just embracing the fall to come. You know, it's our last few weeks of the summer, technically, you know, technically. But, it's just kind of enjoying Oregon summer while we have it here, and transitioning kids into school, transitioning one into adulthood, you know, just on the personal level. And, you know, but it's been fun. It's been a great chapter so far.
I asked you this, maybe just a few weeks into your tenure here. Now I'm curious if the answer has changed. What is a football game day like for you?
Oh yeah, no, football game day is great. it's funny, we just had our football like pre-event meeting today.
Big ops meeting today.
Big ops meeting. There's a lot that goes into this production, especially when you have construction going on. But it's great. A lot of what I focus on game day is our recruits that are coming in.
Yeah.
So being able to see them beforehand, which is just a fun day. It's just built-in entertainment. There's nothing better than a college campus in the fall. So you add in whether it's a volleyball match or a football game, or heck, why not do them both on one day like we do this season, or 2 in 1 week? Who knows? Right. It's like, it's going to be fun. And so there's just this level of excitement. But spending time with our recruits, doing a little bit of pregame stuff, but then I actually get to sit and watch football. And for me, it's nice to be up in the stands with our fans and really connect with them. We have some great friends that we've met now that sit in our row. So everyone wants to make sure that everyone's still going to have the same seats. Because it's fun, to be able to experience that on the other side. I do always laugh, though, because I say it all the time. I don't know how to do like a normal game day.
Right.
I don't know how to get in sometimes. Yep. I don't know. So it takes a little bit of an adjustment for me, because I'm like, this is where I park. This is where I go into the office. This is how I get into Autzen Stadium, but that's not how it works on a game day. Yep. So I have to adjust a little bit as well, but it's fun.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Yeah.
I come into the studio, I'm like, oh yeah, back door. Yeah.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah. So, it's good. And like I've said before, the great thing about my fall in between volleyball, because volleyball is like the main priority in the fall for me, is really just being there to support my teammates and whatever they might need help with. And it could go anything from, being the chaperone for the celebrity guest picker like I was last year, which was fantastic.
Big job.
Big job.
Big job.
Didn't lose her family. We were all good.
Big job.
Very big job. Very exciting job. I feel like we're friends. She probably doesn't remember me, but it's okay. I feel like we're friends. And but then it's just like whatever needs help. Like if all of a sudden, Les from from our facilities and ops, because he comes over on, it's all hands on deck. If someone needs me, if Les is like, Val, I need you to go do this, then I do it, because it is such a team effort.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you.
Val Johnson, Deputy Athletics Director. Hey, don't work too hard.
Hey, you either.
Just hard enough.
Yes.
Time out. When we come back, we're talking volleyball again. Oregon volleyball head coach Trent Kersten with us before the Ducks play the Beavs here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
We know you turn to the Duck Store for all your game day needs. And for students at the University of Oregon, it's even more. Class supplies, jobs, a seat on our board, a place to take a quick coffee break. Because we're your student-first, non-profit college store, every purchase you make directly supports the very community we serve. From working at our counters to studying in the classroom, from directing our stores to cheering in the stands, the people we serve, the students, are the very people who are the Duck Store.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Snakes, zombies, sharks, heights, speaking in public. The list of fears is endless. But while you're clutching your blanket in the dark, wondering if that sound in the hall was actually a footstep, the real danger is in your hand, when you're behind the wheel. And while you might think a great white shark is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
My name is Ariel. I moved to the U.S. at 19. I spoke no English and I struggled finding job opportunities. Everything I have, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and getting my high school diploma at age 22.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
back on Duck Insider. It's presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack and Coach Kersten's here in the Country Financial Studio. We're talking with the Oregon Volleyball head coach. How was the retreat?
Oh, retreat was awesome. Sun River, the weather was great. We got to do a bunch of activities with the team. We played in a major pickleball tournament.
Who won?
Ooh, I think it was Holly and Reese won.
Okay.
Interesting fact was that Holly grew up in the city where pickleball was invented.
Wow.
Yeah.
I do not know what that city is.
I can't remember it either. But I knew that fun fact. Yeah.
Okay. Fun fact. So if anyone right now looks up very quick, before the end of the interview, I will find a time to do this, or we have our crack research team in the studio. We got to find out where pickleball was invented. So you got to play pickleball. What else did you do?
Pickleball. The team went to the Shark Aquatic Center.
Oh, cool.
They did, played in the river a little bit. Yeah, and then just some team time. Maybe some karaoke clips will find their way onto Instagram at some point.
Yeah. Any from you?
Yeah, I had one.
All right.
Yeah, I had one.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, look, that's part of the team bonding experience.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
We talked before you all left about just, a lot of new faces and chance to get to know each other. You feel like you got to do that on this trip?
Yeah, I think just time together away from the court, trying to show like, hey, this is not just a transactional thing where you're coming here to play volleyball. You're coming here to create relationships. These are people that are potentially going to be in your wedding down the road.
Right.
And you're going to have some of your best stories from these off-the-court trips that you guys are going to take.
Yeah. All right, I wanted to ask you, too, there's so much focus on the student-athletes, rightfully so, but it's also been a gelling time for your staff. We talked about that, touched on that a little bit, but I wanted to ask you that today as you head into another exhibition now here against Oregon State, season approaching. Just tell fans about your staff, what you've liked with them so far.
Yeah, and so this is, I guess in previous years I've been more on the offensive side of the ball as a coach, and this year I've kind of given that to Gio and given her a lot more reign, and she's training the setters, and I've taken on a little bit more of the defensive blocking side of the ball. Lauren is working with middles. Sarah's with our backcourt, our floor defense, liberos type of thing. And so that gives some structure of what each coach is working with and their responsibilities right now. But again, like coming into this year has been different than any other year because it's just been such a collaboration. Right. We didn't have any preconceived notions of, hey, this is the system we're going to be in, or this is what we would really like to do. Maybe we had some ideas, but we just didn't know how everyone was going to be when they got here. And so it was trying to introduce new concepts, to not only our staff but to the team, and seeing what worked, what do we believe in, how do we play a winning brand of volleyball.
It's almost like y'all get to kind of be students of the game.
Totally.
Again.
Totally.
That's got to be kind of fun.
Super fun, and a little bit scary too,
sure.
Right? Yeah, a little bit of both. Of gosh, this is so different. This is so foreign compared to any other year as of 3 weeks into training right now. But it's also been just a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have like checkpoints that you wanted to hit in training? I know I asked you this a little bit last week. Did you kind of have that, and how much has that had to adjust to, just with everything we just talked about?
For sure. I don't know. In general, I think offensively, you kind of play to your strengths, and each year you kind of need some time to find out what those are. Defensively, you definitely need to prepare for certain things. You need to defend when the other team's setter is back row and they have 3 hitters or 4 hitters, depending on if they have a back row attack or not. And then you need to defend the alternative when the setter is front row. And both those things are very different. And then, you add a layer with, okay, what are their patterns? Are they using crossing patterns to where they're going slide to go or something like that? And those are just different nuances that you probably need to be prepped for, because no one knows the offensive system that the next team is going to play on the first weekend.
Right.
You don't know until you get there.
Right. Well, and even to that point, we were talking last week about how a film study on you all is going to be very difficult.
Totally.
Right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a lot of empathy for our first opponent.
Right.
And how they're going to scout.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I guess to that point, against Oregon State, you probably have kind of an idea of what things will look like, but that's why you play these exhibitions too, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's one thing, how we're all performing in practice, and it's another when the lights go on. I know we talked about that before our exhibition in Matthew Knight, right? And so we'll see how we perform. We're not into a set lineup by any means right now, and so we're trying to figure it out as we go along and trying to give people time to work in. Luana just arrived from Indonesia this morning, actually, and getting her acclimated, and hopefully she gets cleared today and maybe can do a warm-up in practice, but we'll see.
Well, I wanted to ask you actually about that. I mean, we talked before about the international just style of your roster. A lot of different parts of the world represented. And how about that international experience? I mean, and this is just the latest example. Tell fans about that.
Yeah, so Luana's team, she played for Brazil U21 in World Championships. That took place in Indonesia. They rolled through pool play really well, and they ended up taking the bronze medal. And she was named to the all-tournament team.
All right!
Which is such a great honor for her. And so, yeah, we're excited to, try and onboard her through all of our systems. Like, she's got a lot of mental work to do over the next week and a half before we get a chance to play in Montana.
I was curious too with that, like, onboarding as you described it. Like, there's a lot, right, that goes into it. I mean, and now you've had a lot of student athletes that have gone through that. Just what's that been like for you and for the team as a whole?
Yeah, I think it's a lot for our players that speak English, and then it's a whole nother level for our players that English is their second or third language.
Wow.
Right, because I'm presenting everything and our staff is presenting everything in English, right? And so now we're expecting them to go onto the court to process things, translate it to Serbian or French or whatever it might be, and execute it, and that just takes too much time. And so really the challenging part isn't exactly the download, but it's the processing when you get to the court and now you're trying to see the game at game speed and execute on whatever scheme we're trying to do.
Is there, like, do you have some examples now, too, of, like, volleyball as a universal language?
A little bit. I describe it like this. We have a lot of good volleyball players on our team right now that make good volleyball plays. We don't function as a group all the time, as a system all the time right now. We rely on our good volleyball players to make plays.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It does. No, it's like you feel things on the court, but then the download afterwards and the communication might be a little different.
Yeah, and maybe a good comparison is, a cornerback versus a wide receiver. Do you have inside leverage, outside leverage? Like, where's your body set up? And at the end of the day, maybe their leverage doesn't matter because they're so good at volleyball, right? But we're going to play teams that are going to expose us on some of that stuff.
How has that changed, or maybe how did you even attack that as a coaching staff? Because you knew that there'd be some of this, I'd imagine, heading into it, right?
For sure. I think we have gone lighter in the gym and have absolutely hammered video. Sure. We have spent so much time watching video. I just spent 45 minutes with one of our players going through blocking assignments today. And I think it's part teaching of like, hey, what'd you see here? What's the scheme? How do we execute? And then she gets it. And I have to get just as excited for her in the film room as I would on the court when she gets it. Right?
Makes sense.
And so that's how we've tried to address it as much as we can and through the platform of volleyball. But yes, like the language, they're actually great at English, but just the time to process all the information and execute on what they need to do, it's tough.
Yeah, I mean, so I've told this story on the air before that once upon a time I spoke Spanish very, very well. And then look, I'm the first to admit, like I just don't exercise it as much as I should. It's like every other skill, practice. And I just don't. And so I can only imagine what that must be like. But also very cool, I'd bet, and very rewarding for everybody.
Yeah, and I will say Luana has a bit of an advantage because we have someone on our staff that does speak Portuguese.
That's helpful. Right, that's helpful.
And so Gio will definitely be involved in helping her onboard more quickly.
That's cool. Well, I know that you've mentioned this a little bit before, that Gio has gone through this a little bit with an international recruiting. How beneficial has that been throughout the process?
Yeah, super. I think just the reminders of like, hey, Trent, take a second, calm down a little bit. Like they need a sec. They need an hour more of video with you compared to anyone else. And so just like the gentle reminders of like, give them some grace right now. And at the same time, I'm getting excited because I can see the progress that we're making. I can see, hey, we've got a shot to be good here if we can just, work systemally as a team a little bit better.
Right. You talked before a little bit about the lineup and things starting to come together. Just give us an idea. Where are things at as you head into an exhibition this weekend?
Yeah, I think we're going to see all 3 setters be active this weekend. I hope that's the goal. Right. I'm hoping that we can get Luana somewhat active. We'll see where she's at physically and if she's ready to go. Gosh, our pin group has been pretty stellar. I think we've got a bunch of good pins, and our libero group started off like on a super high note, and then you just kind of hit this lull, and it's kind of like who's going to pull themselves out of it first, who's going to start really performing, and the training's starting to click, and so I'm excited to see, their response after struggling for a little bit and how they handle some adversity right now.
Well, it sounds like you like the competition then here 3 weeks into practice, I guess.
Yeah, well, I hope that's one of the things that everyone saw from our exhibition that was at the game that night was we're going to compete. Yeah. Like, we're going to show that we're going to be competitive. We're going to talk some smack during practice. Like, that's all good with us,
Even if there's a coach playing middle blocker on the other side,
yes,
right?
100%, 100%, and so I think that's the type of team that we want to be. We want to be competitive. We want to know that, for the little girls that are coming to our game that are watching, that it's okay to be competitive.
Right.
Like, that is an okay thing for you to be able to do, and it's okay to want to win.
Yeah. So what do you want to see then in an exhibition? I mean, do you have some goals to share even heading into the Oregon State matchup on Saturday?
Yeah, I think it's one thing, in training we've talked about, yes, winning the game is important. If we're playing something competitive in practice, like winning that set or whatever we're playing is important. But we're also competing with the rest of the country. So how do we compare with the standards that we need to be hitting to be competitive at a top 25 level or whatever it might be, and just reminding ourselves like we're not there yet. We have more steps to take, and hopefully we feel that way through December.
Yeah. Well, and it's always so tough, right? You want to peak at the end of the year.
Right.
Gosh, that's hard to do.
Yeah. Well, and for some of our newbies, like, you don't get to be a senior when you're a freshman. Like, you don't have that perspective yet. Right. Like, I can't gift you those 3 years of experience in the NCAA, in the Big Ten.
Sure.
And so it's like, hey, you might want to be here, but you have to really enjoy going through those years of process and those years of training and strength and development on the court and all that stuff. Like, it doesn't just happen in 2 weeks.
Trent Kersten, Oregon Volleyball head coach. Well, it's Ducks and Beavs. I mean, it might be an exhibition, but it counts for quite a bit coming up on Saturday. Thanks for the time, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
What did we miss? Anything else that you want fans to know heading into the matchup?
Oh, man, I think that's it. I'm just excited to get to compete against another team. I think it'll be a lot of fun. It's cool that, we'll get to play them again during the preseason.
Sure.
And so it'll be a nice trip to Corvallis and get acclimated in their gym a little bit before we head there in a few weeks.
Yeah. Road test,
right?
As we say. Yeah, I mean, I know you mentioned, like, lights go on. It's a little different. It is different when you go on the road.
For sure.
Too.
For sure.
Oregon State, 4 o'clock on Saturday. Every Tuesday, we'll be talking with Coach Kersten. Coach, thanks for coming over.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Timeout. When we come back, the schedule ahead. Games are being played again this week. So far, Ducks are undefeated. Tell you about that when we come back on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial.
Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
A adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Final segment of Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union here on a Tuesday. Thanks again to Coach Kersten. Every Tuesday we'll be talking with him. And, look, I know it's an exhibition, but it's still Ducks and Beavs, and it's a big evaluation day coming up on Saturday at 4 o'clock in Corvallis for a lineup that, as Coach just said, is still figuring out all the pieces. And I got to say, it is a unique situation when you have one returning player to the roster. Everyone else is new. I mean, that is the epitome of opportunity for a student athlete in competition. It's a unique thing, and I'm curious to see just how it all shakes out here moving forward. First official counting match for Oregon Volleyball will be on the road in Bozeman, Montana on Friday the 29th. The Ducks will be playing at Montana State when Oregon football hosts Montana State. Just worked out that way. The first opponent for Oregon Volleyball will be South Dakota in Bozeman coming up on next Friday. And then Prairie View A&M will be the opponent for the Ducks on Saturday. That will actually start at the same time as Oregon football. We'll keep you updated, of course, on that. And then the host team, Montana State, faces the Ducks at 1 o'clock on Sunday. That's the schedule ahead for Duck Volleyball. Not this weekend, but next weekend. Meanwhile, for Oregon soccer, they're hitting the road to Hawaii. Going to play Sacramento State in Hawaii on Thursday as part of their trip. And then the Ducks will play the host institution in Hawaii at 7 o'clock on Sunday. That's this weekend for Tracy Joyner's Oregon soccer team. And talking about Tracy Joyner, she's going to join us on the show coming up tomorrow. Every Wednesday, we'll have our Oregon soccer focus with Tracy Joyner. And then for Oregon football, we did not get to Devin Jackson and Ashton Porter today. We'll zero in on the linebacker room moving forward. For Ashton Porter, a guy who's changed his body a lot as a pass rusher. And then today, I know everybody always wants to know about the quarterbacks. The Ducks did not name a starting quarterback today. If they did, I probably would have started the show with that. However, we will get to Will Stein, Luke Moga, Austin Novosad, Dante Moore, their interviews with the media. They're also available on the Go Ducks YouTube for those of you that just can't wait. I get it. See you tomorrow, everybody.
Man, I love my kids so much. I once sat for 3 hours in the cold rain to watch her soccer team lose by 18 goals.
I love my kids so much, I once used a tube to suck snot out of her stuffed nose at 3 a.m.
You win.
Love your kids? Love them enough to make sure they're in the right car seat. From toddlers to tweens, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat to find the right seat for their age and size. Keep them safe.